It's Corso and Catone.
Listen, Mark, listen, hold on. When I say, would you have caffeine today?
What the hell is that up to?
Presented by Special Sauce Podcast, Studio 42 Design, and Corso Law Group. Now for the real deal New England feel, Corso and Catone.
Welcome into Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. I'm Corso. Catone is here. Joe is with us in the booth, and you're watching us on YouTube, listening on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you podcast. You can catch us, and make sure you give us a call and heated hotline. And would you rather? 855-313-PATCH. You know the drill. Leave a message 24/7. We're going to pick a few of these things out for these segments, and we're going to play it. So let's hope it's yours. 855-313-7287, and email us in the mailbag, corso.catone@gmail.com. I think we covered whether or not we can read or speak last week, 2 weeks ago. So,
well, you two did.
Yeah, I still haven't established whether or not we can do either, but that's okay.
Well, we'll see, because we have some good stuff today. In Weekly Rewind, we're going to talk Patriots, Celtics, Bruins, and of course, Catone's comments. I think we have I think this is a continuation.
It is a continuation, because I had to cut it off last show because I would have went on forever.
And of course, we're going to get to your emails and calls in Would You Rather. Good, funny stuff, Joe tells me. So can't wait to get to that. And so, Mark, listen, guys, how are we doing? We were off a little bit. We're going to be off next week, too, Mark.
We had a little bit of a summer break. We need a summer break before training camp comes, Chris. Jesus.
Hot.
Right?
It's hot over here.
Well, where you are, isn't there like a record heat thing going on, like a record heat wave or something? I don't know. You don't know. You don't leave the house.
Feels like it. So, it does. But, yeah, listen, there's a lot going on. I mean, we're going to get to Weekly Rewind. But, Mark, we're recording on Thursday. The All-Star game was too. I mean, does anybody want to talk about the All-Star game out there? Anybody want to call in? Or
I don't want to talk about the All-Star game, Chris.
They had a record low viewership.
Yeah, these All-Star games, Chris, are starting to fade. I mean, they're not competitive. It's tough. But I'll tell you what, Chris. Maybe we should talk about the All-Star game rather than talking about how bad the Yankees are. Right? I mean, the Red Sox really aren't much better either. But, but no, I don't want to talk about the
Don't the Yankees are coming out with like the lowest?
Their batting average is like 28th in the league, Chris.
All right. So we got a lot to talk about then next. We come back in a couple of weeks and following as the baseball season ramps up. But, hey, let's get to Weekly Rewind today. Joe, we ready?
Yeah.
I'm getting it. Going back through the week. About a Weekly Rewind. So, Mark, I want to start with the Patriots today. Getting closer.
We're getting close.
We're
getting real close.
It's getting close. Couple of weeks, they open up training camp. The Patriots do.
I can't wait.
But there's always things with them, though, huh? Always things to talk about. Just saw Adrian Phillips on one of the networks here talking about, how good the defense is. They're going to have to be.
Yeah, they're going to have to be good, especially if they don't sign Hopkins.
Well, let's talk about that. So, DeAndre Hopkins, we know the only two places he visited, just to recap, the Tennessee Titans, New England now, and nobody else really now. There's been some talk, things going on. We both think, or the three of us think he's going to wait, right, until training camp to make the decision to see if somebody else comes into the fold and, that clause.
Well, like you said, Chris, if somebody from Kansas City pulls a hamstring, now all of a sudden they'll figure out how to give him what he wants. But, so I think he's waiting. And then Buffalo this week, Chris said, well, we'd love to have DeAndre Hopkins if he wants to chase a ring, which means we can't pay him what he wants. But if he wants a ring, he can come, right? So I think he's just waiting around to see how things shake out for a couple of more weeks, Chris. And then I'm thinking by the beginning of August, he's going to have to make a decision, right?
Well, I mean, look, Buffalo says that. He sends back the little thing with the bull on it. So, that tends to, so, I mean, I don't know if this is coming out of, his people trying to, build more of a market for him.
Yeah. Because there really is no market, Chris.
No. But I mean, look, you know what's funny about all of this? I mean, Kansas City and Buffalo are now the new come and play for a year and prove it on a prove it deal and then go get your money somewhere else. Does that sound familiar? Remember those days?
Yeah, I think I do, Chris. I really think I do. But yeah, of course they are. We've been saying this right along, Chris, especially with Mahomes. Now that he's won a couple of rings and people think he's going to win multiple more rings, he's the new Brady and they've become the new Patriots, right? So people will go there on a team-friendly deal for 1 year, put up great stats and go get your money. And hey, by the way, you may walk out of here with a ring too, right?
But they probably look, if they really want him, he shouldn't have left there without. They shouldn't have let him leave. I mean, they should not have let him leave.
You're talking about the Patriots, right?
Yeah, the Patriots, yeah.
It's
just another example. It's just another example how they won't commit, they won't pay, and it's either the coach saying, "Hey, look at all the rings, stand on our laurels," which he claims he never does. We can't look at it, backward. We can only go forward. Or it's the owner, like I contend, that, hey, he just doesn't want to pay. Because, I mean, to me, it's like, you know what? If he wants 10, 12 million, give it to him. Give it to him. How bad is it really going to screw you up next year, No,
I've come around to your line of thinking. It's Kraft. I don't think it's Belichick. I think Belichick is working. Yes, I think Belichick, and we've said this, Chris, definitely has this old antiquated view of what positions are technically worth, right?
Right.
And however, I do think it's Kraft saying, Bill, we're not going to spend that on a receiver, so figure it out, right? I do think that it's Kraft, Chris. I am agreeing with you. Kraft is not paying $13 or $14 million for DeAndre Hopkins. If Hopkins wants to come for 9 or 10, maybe.
Yeah.
But reports lately, Chris, are saying the Titans are more aggressive in their pursuit than the Patriots are. So to your point, what does that tell us about this organization, Chris? All you're going to do is look in that receiver room. You need a receiver. I mean, they have to know they need a receiver. Otherwise, they wouldn't have entertained Hopkins. But what does that tell you about the organization? That Tennessee's more aggressive.
It tells you they're frugal. It tells you that they keep thinking about the way things have been for 20 more some odd years, and they're living in that past. But I keep telling you and everybody else out there that if you think that this is a team, you say, well, okay, they had all the success with 20 years. That's not because they spent money. They've never spent money. I mean, this is not a team that year by year was pulling in all kinds of high-priced free agents, and they were all prove-it deals, all guys that maybe at the tail end. They drafted pretty good in some spots here and there before 2017, So they've never really spent money.
Chris, if you look at the wide receiver position, other than Randy Moss, and when they got Moss from Oakland,
it wasn't a lot.
He really didn't. It wasn't a huge contract. It was after he put up those numbers, they gave him that extension where they upped the ante a little bit and gave more than they probably wanted to. But other than Moss, Chris, in their 20-year run, what receiver did they ever pay? They never paid one.
Not a receiver.
Ranch go. They let Givens go. They didn't pay those guys when they were looking for more money. They let them go.
I mean, they gave Stalwart a little bit of money, but
a little bit, but it wasn't a lot.
Go. They let Welker go. They had, and they didn't know. There wasn't really anybody. I mean, look, in any position, really. I mean, there are guys that they paid in spots. Bringing Revis in, they paid him a little bit.
And that was 1 year. And then the next year, they said, we're not paying you again. We got you your ring. You want us to help win us a championship, and good luck to you. That was it.
Right. And so it's like a Hopkins situation for other teams. So, I mean, they gave Stephon, but the point is, this has not been a heavy spending team. And I think they're so set in their ways of not spending. And they say, hey, look, what's the draw between, us over Tennessee? Well, their mindset is, Well, if you're on a deal where you can get more money next year somewhere, aren't you going to be better off with Mac Jones than whoever they got over there in Tennessee? And aren't you going to be better with Billy O'Brien that you can succeed in his system because you have before? So I think that's probably some of what they're thinking, but that's how you lose guys, and they're going to lose this guy. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
And Chris, I'm going to tell you something, and we talked about this. We haven't really talked about it on the show, but if you got Hopkins, man, it seems like Dalvin Cook wants to play with Hopkins for 1 year, doesn't it?
Yep.
And if you got Hopkins, I think the other domino would fall. I don't think Cook isn't going to the Titans because obviously they got Henry, right?
Yeah.
But if he comes here, Chris, I think that other shoe would drop. I honestly think you could bring Cook in here. And if you got Dalvin Cook, Chris, and Hopkins, now the division all of a sudden changes a little bit, doesn't it?
Well, because what happens now is, and we get excited over what we're seeing him doing. People are upset because, okay, well, what are you signing Devontae Parker for? You gave him an extension, and then they turned around and gave. I can't even say it out loud. I can't. I can't. You say it because I can't say it.
So for those of you that haven't been paying attention, maybe you've been on summer vacation. They signed Chris's favorite player, Juwan Bentley, to an extension, a nice little extension for a couple of years. But Chris, why did they do that though? Why did they extend Hopkins? Why did they extend Parker and Bentley?
Yeah, they freed up a couple of $1 million in each case. Once you saw the contract with Parker, you realize they freed up couple of $2-3 million, whatever it is, against the cap this year. So, they're trying to find money, and they have a high cap right now. They have room. So again, Chris, you get excited about that.
Chris, they didn't need to do that. They could have spent the money anyways because of the cap space they have. But to your point, they're being frugal. So they've extended guys a little bit to save money. So, okay, now you've created about $4 million that you could put towards that salary for 1 year.
Right.
So now maybe you can go up to 12. Now it only costs you 8 because you just saved 4. Yeah, you're paying out 12, but you just freed up $4 million that you didn't have before. So they're being frugal, Chris, still, but maybe it results in Hopkins. But listen, if it doesn't result in Hopkins, I don't know why the hell you extended Parker and Bentley. I really don't.
Well, because they'll tell you, Mark, that we only had 35 players signed or something like that.
I understand that. And how many of those guys did you really want back, Chris?
Right. And so now they're going to have to deal with other guys and have enough cap space to deal with the Uches of the world, which they're not going to pay him anyway. What the hell's the difference? So
they're not going to pay him, Chris. That's why they drafted the guys they drafted this year.
Right. So if it's not Hopkins, what are they doing with the money? I mean, they're famous for pulling money from year to year, and it's like airline miles, they just keep over and over and over again. So, I mean, you just keep building them up. But again, so in the thing about Hopkins is the last thing I'll say about it is as it relates to Cooks too, because Cooks isn't going to get his money. I mean, no running backs. Ezekiel Elliott's still out there too. Nobody cares anymore about running backs.
Nobody cares about running backs anymore.
You and I have been ahead of that curve for.
You've been ahead of that curve, Chris. You've been ahead of that curve. You went ballistic when they drafted Sonny Michel, first round draft. You went ballistic. You've been on that for years.
I told a friend of mine when the Dallas Cowboys drafted Elliott, he was all excited. Called me. Oh, I said, this is one of the biggest mistakes they made drafting that, using that. And I had like 3 other guys that you did too, picks that they could have brought in that were difference makers. At the wide receiver spot, at the linebacker spot, at the corner spot, and they didn't do it. And I said, they're not going to win a championship. What do you think? This is Emmitt Smith? You think this is 40 years ago? I mean, they're not, you don't win with running backs. But I will say, you bring Hopkins in, you bring Cooks in, it's a good ancillary piece. It's a guy that can catch balls out of the backfield, right? And that James White role only better.
Better. Yeah. And Chris, he can run the ball out of the backfield, and he's explosive.
And then it leaves it gives Stevenson some reps and some breaks and not as many reps. And Stevenson could be a goal line guy now and without any issues there. And so here's the last thing with Hopkins, though. I need you to answer. Because when you look at him, if I'm Buffalo and I'm Kansas City, I don't, I'm looking at this guy and saying, we don't need this guy. Like this guy's not good enough, to be worried about paying him and this and that. Yeah, you want to come over here for 4 or 5 million, 6 million, fine, whatever. But for the Patriots, he's necessary. Because I don't think he's that good, and I don't know what he is anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what he is either, Chris. But when you look at the Patriot wide receiver room, and listen, nobody is more of a critic of that wide receiver room than me. I've been banging that drum for years, right? But so when you look at Thornton, right? You look at who Parker. What do you got? What do you got there? You got
a lot of silence on the air right now because we're just
You got Schmidt-Schuster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who may or may not end up on the PUP list.
Yeah, nobody's heard from him. Who knows if he's still hurt? And then you got Bourne, that's a huge question mark. What else do you got in that receiver room? You're counting on 6th round draft picks. What do you got?
Again,
okay, you brought in Gesicki. I got it. The tight end room is okay. I get it. But, Chris, we need Hopkins. You're right. Buffalo and Kansas City, yeah, it's a nice addition if you can get them, but we need them.
That's right.
And if anybody doesn't think we need them, and I know, other guys in the local media are like, I don't want to deal with that guy. I think he's an a-hole. Listen, deal with him. Bring him in. I don't know what he's got left. But your room needs something. Roll the dice and hope it's him, because you're not going to win, Chris, with that schedule in that division with the wide receiver room we have. It's just if you don't bring in Hopkins, Chris, I'm telling you, the best you're going to win is 8 or 9 games. We've gone through the schedule how many times, Chris? I'm being generous. You got them at like 5-6 wins. I just don't see how they're going to win enough games to get to the playoffs, Chris, with that wide receiver room.
No, against that competition. So,
No.
So we'll see what happens. Training camp opens up soon. Everybody's in New England's got their fingers crossed for Hopkins and see what he can bring.
By the way, Chris, everybody is all over. And I know you love the pick. The fact that this kid, Christian Gonzalez, is going to be all rookie on the all rookie team. And they're saying so, but I
just
also
remember I came back to your side of the table a few weeks ago.
I was just going to say, but if he's healthy, I know he tweeted something in minicamp. If he's healthy, the kid from the wide receiver from Seattle, he's going to be on the all rookie team too. Trust me on that. He probably will be offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah. So,
but I'm glad that everyone is saying that about the corner.
Well, they can say it. Let's see what happens on the field. So we'll be paying attention closely to this as we move up to training camp. When we come back in a couple of weeks, we're going to be diving right into training camp. And Mark, some other stuff this week turned into the Celtics. This Jaylen Brown, okay, so Smart's gone. I like that we talked about this. I like it. I like the trade. I like Porzingis. And I'm hearing people say, well, okay, he's not as good. You let a guy leave that played defense and could shoot threes, blah, blah, blah. And Porzingis, he's hurt all the time. Okay, first of all, he played more minutes than Smart did last year. Okay, he played 65 games, which was more than Smart. He played the same amount of minutes per game, which was 32. He averaged 10 points better a game. This is a better player. This is a better player.
Chris, if he's healthy, he's a better player. Granted, what you just said was the first time in his career he's played that many games. But Chris, you're right. I'll let you continue. He's a better player.
He's a better player, and he's a better fit. He's a better fit for what they need and what needs to happen going forward. Mark, they needed a DNA change there. They needed something different to happen.
They did.
So,
and Chris, having him on the floor, I think is going to allow somebody like a little bit more spacing. So maybe White is allowed to drive to the basket and not have to shoot up 3-pointers, because now you've got another guy that can space or clean out the underneath. Right. So now you can maybe drive to the basket and do some other things offensively rather than what they got into doing.
Yeah. And dish to him underneath. Look, and I hope to hell that he's not just going to be used as a perimeter guy and throwing up threes.
Oh,
I mean, his
please.
post game was the best in the NBA last year. It was his post play, and they need to incorporate that. Let's see what Sleepy Joe does over here with that. But this Jaylen Brown thing, Mark, how they left the meetings in Vegas, and I thought, okay, what's going to happen this weekend? Now, what you hear coming out is that they're willing to give him. They're going to give him the 295. What is it? 300 million, 295 million, whatever it is for 5 years.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
That they're wanting to give him that deal, the Celtics. But they're getting hung up on some of the details, like he wants a no trade clause too. Go ahead. What do you think of this?
Listen, first of all, Chris, listen, he's a good player. You and I have been on record. He's not a max guy. I wouldn't be giving him $290 million. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Even so right off the bat, never mind the details, I wouldn't give him the cash. I'm not giving him $290 million, $300 million. I don't think he's that type of a player. They're going to give him that. There's no way I'm giving him a no trade clause. There's no way, Chris. Why? So 2 years from now, when you realize we might have made a mistake, but we got some team that's desperate and they'll take him off our hands
and
for
he
a
says
decent
no.
package, he's going to say, no, I'm not going. No way. I don't include that. Absolutely not, Chris. I hold tight and say, listen, we're going to give you the max money, but no one else, you're not going to make this money anywhere else. Sign the damn deal because we're not giving you a no trade clause. So sign the damn deal. They don't have to play hardball with him, Chris.
He's not as good as he thinks he is.
No.
He's good. Listen, he's good. He's an all-NBA player. He's a great player. He's one of the great players in the league. I get it. But I can name 10 to 12 players that probably, at least I can name 10 players that I would take ahead of him.
I could name more than 10.
Okay. So you and I are in agreement on this. He thinks he's equal to Tatum.
Yeah,
he believes that.
That's so crazy, Chris. That is so crazy. And listen, I hate to keep beating this drum and reiterating it. And listen, I understand he played well against Golden State last year, and Tatum struggled a bit, right? Tatum did struggle.
Yeah, that's now going back 2 seasons now, though.
Yeah, but Brown did turn the ball over in that series as well. But, Chris, he had his shot. You want to be a super max deep player and you want to say, I want a no trade clause, then you had to carry them in game 7 against Miami. And if he did it, I'd have no problem, Chris, with the no trade clause.
Give him all
he
of
proved himself. Tatum went down. He carried us. He took us to the finals. He couldn't produce, Chris. And it wasn't like they had guys on the court that were superstars, Miami. Like he had no excuse for not producing in that game, Chris. None.
Excuse. None. Like Asante Samuel, that other jerk that keeps running his
he
mouth.
already shut his
the ball in the 07 Super Bowl,
shut your mouth.
You jerk,
Yeah. Catch the ball, you jerk.
Catch the ball, and you got a perfect season. I got another thing on the wall then,
Yeah.
Sure. But Jay, listen, I'm with you. I don't want to pay him that money. I don't know if the Celtics are waiting to see what happens with Lillard, who in no uncertain terms
but
that
Chris,
I want Miami.
But Chris, they're not going to give up Jaylen Brown for Lillard. So I don't think that would ever be part of a deal for Lillard. So maybe it would be. I don't know. I don't think it would be. Yeah.
You got an age thing happening, though.
Me personally, I say that before the smart deal happened. I don't know. Yeah, I would still, depending on what you were getting, I would seriously have to consider it. I would consider it. Yeah. Only because Lillard, Chris, brings you something you don't have on the floor. You still got Tatum. You got Porzingis. You bring in Lillard. Yeah, I probably would do it. People may think I'm crazy, but I would probably do it.
I would too. Because I just don't, we keep saying it over and over again, and I got a problem with Tatum, and that's the story for another day. We've talked about, his DNA, and I don't think they'll win it without another dog. I don't think they're going to win a championship with him, but I really don't think between the two of them they will, because you said they don't complement each other. They play the same game. They're not, it's just you're putting $300 million in 5 years into a guy that I think doesn't complement your star, and again, I agree.
Chris, listen,
this is not a guy I don't think you should be paying him this money.
So Miami makes a playoff run, beats you, goes to the final, wins a game. I figured the coach would win him a game. He did. Okay. Yeah. It really wasn't a close series. obviously.
And that was
But
more
anyway,
what Denver did. Like they
was
let
more-
down in that game too.
Yeah, they did. No, they did. You're right, Chris. They did. But so you make that run, and two of your key pieces in making that run, obviously, besides Butler, were that Gabe Vincent kid came out of nowhere, and
He's gone.
Strus came out of nowhere. Both gone as free agents. They didn't even consider signing those guys, Chris. Why? They need the money because they are going to figure out the deal for Lillard.
Yeah.
Lillard's going to end up
Yeah.
with Butler. So now you've got Lillard and Butler and whatever other guys that coach can put around them to try to, and he'll figure out the pieces, right? So are we good enough to beat that team? I mean, we couldn't do it. Are we good enough if Giannis is healthy and that team's healthy? I just don't know, Chris. I don't know, but Jaylen Brown, I mean, you're making demands. What have you done? You don't got no ring. You couldn't come through in Game 7, Chris. I don't know.
And I like Steven. And by the way, I think they are good enough to beat the Heat with Porzingis because I don't think they're going to have an answer for him. I don't think I don't think Bam Adebayo can deal with Porzingis.
And Chris, maybe Robert Williams can actually stay healthy.
Well, see, that's the problem, Mark.
Chris,
you see, that's the issue.
Chris.
That's the friggin' issue with Porzingis is now you have another injury-prone center, and you have Horford, who's older too, who's got problems with his knees or whatever his issues is too. So I mean, your three big men have injury issues. So
because I'm going to tell you something, Chris. If Williams and Porzingis ever could stay healthy an entire season, do you know what they'd be like with those two guys
together on the court?
Yeah,
because when you move Porzingis to the 4, I mean, it's a whole different. That's a whole different look.
That's a different animal, Chris. That's a different animal.
Which is another reason why you don't need Jaylen Brown at the 2. You don't need him at the 2 guard.
I know.
You don't need to pay you don't need $300 million at the 2 guard.
So, Chris, speaking of guards, have you watched any of the summer league? Did you see the kid they drafted, the kid Jordan Walsh from Houston?
Yeah, he had like 3 steals, and he's got a chance to be the summer league 25 MVP.
Points. He had 25 points last night against the Lakers. I watched it. I've watched every one of their summer league games. Chris, the kid had 25 points. He had 8 rebounds. He had a couple of assists, the kid, I think, can play, Chris, and he can play 3 positions. He can play 3. Yep. He can play both guard positions if you need him to. And what I like about him, Chris, is he doesn't just have to take 3-pointers. He's very good at driving, stopping, pulling up. Drive, stop, pull up. Something we don't have. Do we have a guard that can do that?
No, I heard Brad Stevens, who I love the way Brad Stevens is handling this Brown thing too. How I think he's so much better of a personnel guy, front office guy than he was the coach. But he's encouraging this kid to shoot. I'm not saying the kid's
going to be a superstar year 1, but I think this kid could contribute and help you eventually.
Well, if he shoots like they want him to, because they're pushing him to shoot the ball more and don't hesitate. So again, it's a lot to look at. Let's see. I mean, Jaylen Brown, we're tracking that all the way. We'll keep you posted, us posted. It's interesting. Mark and I are on the negative side to that. And last, Mark, we got 2 minutes left. I want to just bring up the Bruins really quick. And, look, we were okay with them trading Hall and getting rid of Foligno if they signed Bertuzzi. But now Bertuzzi's gone, Hall's gone, Clifton's gone, Olof is gone.
So Bertuzzi, Chris, is interesting to me because everyone thought if they got rid of Hall and you got rid of a couple of other pieces, which they did, that Bertuzzi would be a guaranteed. That was all the re-sign Bertuzzi, and they didn't do it. So and he only signed, like you said, Chris, earlier to me, he only signed a 1-year deal.
Yeah, with Toronto, 1 year. That's it. For money
I don't know what that was about.
There. Well, look, I think this is Sweeney saying flat out, hey, look, we did it. We gave you what you needed, and you didn't get it done.
Hey, Chris, but they bring back Krejci? He's 100. What is he, 104, 105?
Yeah, he died in the friggin' playoffs.
Listen, there's been no word on Bergeron. I'm assuming he's not coming back, right? No one's heard a thing about him.
I would say no. They're trying to plan like he's not. So
okay. And Chris, the only thing they have done though is they've signed a couple of young forwards.
Yeah. Yep.
So maybe that's the Sweeney's way of saying, okay, we got a core group. We're infusing some young guys, some speed. Right. Let's see if we get real great goaltending. Olmark won the Vezina. If we can, continue with that type of goaltending, maybe we, gee, Chris, whose style of hockey is that?
Yeah, I know. You know what? It's and he was over there winning the cup, which he brought it to Milton, Mass today, and displayed it in Milton, Mass today.
Oh, how bad was that? That's
Cup.
Like just rip your heart right out.
Yeah,
right?
Punch you in the face with it. So it may be a long season at the Garden. Maybe a long season at the Garden. We'll see what happens. So Weekly Rewind was presented by Special Sauce Podcast. What's your special sauce? SpecialSaucePodcast.com. Hey, when we come back, buckle up. Catone's comments is next.
It's the Special Sauce Podcast. You liking the sauce? The sauce is good, man.
This is start off as finance Kratom, custom, and let 'em read.
With your host, Marcus Aurelius. Tune in to Special Sauce Podcast, wherever you podcast. What's your special sauce? Time for Catone Comment!
So, last show, I talked about, and I had to do it. I started talking about etiquette on a plane. And I talked about a few different things. And I talked about people sitting down and all this other stuff, right? And listen, everybody's got a story. I get it. But listen, going on a plane, it's like an adventure. It's like you're in Oz. It just gets more bizarre every time you enter a plane, right? I remember this one trip. I'm flying with my wife, right? We're going cross country, and actually we're going to Vegas. And so we're in line, and there's this grandparents. No, these parents are putting two kids on a plane by themselves. Okay, this one kid, the little kid, he's got a bag of candy. He's got everything you could possibly imagine in a bag. He's taking on his plane. I immediately said to myself, "Bad. That's bad. No big deal. What do I care, right? It's not my kid." The girl's maybe 12 years old. This kid's got to be 6, 7 years old. Well, they put them on the plane by themselves. They're going to visit the grandparents. Okay. Where do they sit? Where do you think they sit? Right in front of me. Right in front of me and my wife. Okay. We're on a 5-hour flight, whatever. I shut my eyes. I just want to sleep. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. I told my wife, read a book. Do whatever you're going to do. Don't bother me. I'm shutting my eyes. I ain't open them till we land. We're on the plane 5 minutes. This kid, hey, can I have a meal? He's asking the sister. I don't know. Sister's got this bag of treats. It was like Halloween on the plane. She just kept pulling stuff out of this bag. So now the kid's got he had a milk, he had candy, he had this, he had that. Okay, we're about 2 hours in. They're getting a bag, the barf bag, that the kid's going to throw up because he ate every piece of garbage you could possibly imagine. Barf's in the bag. Now I'm going ballistic. My wife's hitting me and kicking me. He's just a kid. I said, just a kid. What? Okay, kid falls asleep. I said, wonderful. Kid wakes up. Listen, kid wakes up about an hour and a half later, turns to the sister and says, can I have strawberry milk? What? The sister goes to give it to him. I reached over the chair. No, you're not. I took it. I said, here we go. No. I said, no. I said, put that away, honey. I said, you ain't giving this kid strawberry milk. Are you? My wife's looking at me like I'm nuts. I reached right over and grabbed it. I said, put that milk away. Are you crazy? Listen, these people just put these poor little kids on the plane with no supervision, nothing. I don't blame the kid. I blame the parents. The parents put these kids on a 5-hour flight by themselves. My last story, and then I know Chris and Joe have a zillion stories. We're on a plane. We're coming home. I don't know. I think I was coming from Vegas, actually. Same trip. We're delayed. We've been bumped. It was horrific. It was horrific. We're flying home. We end up in Baltimore. Now it's raining. We're on a runway in Baltimore. We're on the runway for about an hour and 45 minutes, almost 2 hours. Finally, there's no air. The air's stagnant. People, you're smelling bad breath. People's dirty feet, under armpits. It's gross. I'm sweating. I'm so miserable because I'm such a happy, jolly guy, right? I'm so miserable. I'm sitting there. And they said, we're finally going to take off. I said, wonderful. Now, I'm not sitting next to my wife because we got bumped on this plane. She's like 5 rows in front of me. Actually, Chris's brother is across from me. He's on this flight with us coming home. So these two ladies were next to me. I'm in the back, and they're reading a book. One's reading poetry. The other one, I don't know what they're doing. They're reading. So the lady said, okay, we're going to take off, fasten seatbelt, boop, all cabin lights off. Boop, okay, I'm going, boop, cabin lights all off. She's still got the cabin light on. She's reading the book, poetry. So I gave her a couple of minutes. Nothing. Lady walks by and says, all cabin lights off. Oh, nothing. She's reading the poetry. I went, bink. I shut it. Shut it off. Shut it. Lady turns her head. Couple minutes later, she puts it back on to read her book. I went, bing. I shut it again. Nope. I said, nope. Listen, I said, cabin lights off. I've been sitting here for 2 hours. I said, don't you turn that light back on. I said, there's going to be a problem. I said, put your book away, close your eyes, and take a nap. I said, how's that, honey? I said, you've been reading poetry since I got on the plane. Oh, Jesus Christ. Listen, it doesn't matter. You get on a plane and you've walked into Oz. It's every time you get on a plane. Tell me I'm wrong, Chris. Tell me I'm wrong. But you got more stories than me. Him, this kid's got a zillion and one stories.
Yes.
He took the chocolate milk from me. He took the strawberry milk from me.
Oh, I took that milk. My wife had a heart attack.
You know, what he's not telling you, though, about this story is the clean version. But what he's not telling you about the story is that he's coming home from Vegas and he got his brains beat in financially. That's something to do, because you know full well if you were happy and if you did all right in Vegas, you'd be giving the kid all kinds of milk.
Nope.
Shutting the light. Nope. Joey's right.
I'm just gonna have Mark come on the plane with me.
That way, all the bad stuff can happen to him.
My PEP, the plane etiquette personnel. He's gonna make sure that everybody, does everything they're supposed to do while I'm on the plane.
Well, you know what? You should bring me then, because every bad thing will happen to me. So you
tell us
enjoy yourself.
You were flying just this past week.
To New England, yeah.
Tell us about the picture you sent.
So there was okay. Oh man. So did I tell the story about the peanut person yet? I already talked about that with the peanuts.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So what is it with the peanuts? So fine,
First of all, I didn't think people get peanut allergies. Isn't that illegal now to just give out peanuts?
Give it to them.
Oh,
Give it to him.
Give it to him. Okay. Well, Joe, what's wrong with him, Joe? He's awfully aggressive.
I ended up sitting in a window seat. Don't ask me why, but I sat in a window seat, which means like you're in jail. You know what I mean? Like you're just there, and you can't do anything. And this lady sitting next to me, and I'm texting these guys as I'm flying. And Joe, you remember this was a month ago, 2 months ago, and I'm giving them a blow by blow as it's happening. And so she gets her Bloody Mary mix. We already covered that 2 weeks ago about the confusion about why everybody's drinking Bloody Mary mix with no alcohol in it. Don't get it, but okay. She gets her Bloody Mary mix, spills some of it on her tray. Okay, hasn't hit me yet, hasn't bothered me yet. Now she gets her peanuts. Okay, this person opened up this bag of peanuts, which is only about, for you, those of you on the radio, I'm mimicking a standard size plane. You all know what size they are, okay? So you get the peanuts on the plane, right? He opens up the peanuts and shoves her whole. I don't know how she got her friggin' whole arm into this damn peanut bag, okay? But she's eating peanuts like she's in the zoo. You know what I'm saying? And
Wait. With the shells?
Not shells. What's the last time you were on a plane?
Joe, what
Hey,
the hell? What shell?
No, that's the way you would describe it. I was like, wait a minute.
No.
Does she have a whole shell on?
That's what I'm saying. The little bag, the little freaking bag of peanuts. She's got like her hand. I don't know how she got her hand in there, but all her hands are full of salt and stuff and whatever, right? So now this is all I hear for you, those of you on the radio. And I even took the glasses out. I took the Rothstein glasses out and I looked over just to see if I was seeing the right thing. Okay. And all I can hear is now I can hear the smacking, right? She's licking. Oh,
no, she's not. No, she's not.
Mark, she made love to this bag of peanuts.
Oh, okay. Oh, my word.
She's licking it. And I'm typing. I'm frantically texting now. Anybody who would bother to listen to me. Okay. If this woman, I said, if this woman touches me at all, I'm going to prison. Okay. I said, we're going to have Jack Jones and I are going to be in the cells next to each other because I can't. I said, if this, I don't like people touching me or don't shake my hand. Leave me alone. This is what's going on. And on the way back, I sit down. I choose actually the second leg. I know we're long, but I choose to sit next to. You got to pick people, right? You get to pick your seat. So you try to strategically, I be somebody that's decent size. So I picked this kid. He looks like the mother and the kid sitting there. Maybe he was 10 years old. I don't know. Whatever. He was fine, except for this. You know how you cross your legs? You cross your legs so it's down, but then when you could do it while it's up, straight across, kind of, right? You know what I mean? And so this kid's got his leg crossed like that with his filthy, disgusting sneaker. The bottom of the sneaker's laying all over my pants. It keeps rubbing against my pants over and over and over. And so now I'm fixated. I'm fixated on this friggin' kid with his sneakers. And I'm like, and I'm doing stuff and I'm kind of moving my leg. You know what you do. You move your leg, you move a little, and the mother's like, okay, don't bother the man. Don't bother the man. Don't bother the man. I'm gonna stuff this kid in the goddamn buff bag.
See, I think I would have said, kid, take your shoe off.
That would be worse.
So, Chris, the only thing that makes it worse is your peanut story is when they're sitting behind you with the peanuts and then they get it stuck. They're coughing all over your neck and the peanuts are coming out of their dirty mouth. All right.
I sent Mark and Joe a picture on the way back. Okay. I sit down in the seat, and you know how it is. You get a headache on a plane. I hate the whole process of flying, all of it. From the minute you pull your freaking bag out of the closet to pack it, I hate from that moment all the way till the trip's over and you're home. I hate every piece of it. So I sit down. This girl's sitting across the aisle from me. What's the first thing she does, Mark?
Takes her shoes off.
She takes her shoes right off. So now her feet are out. Okay.
On a dirty, disgusting plane, she's got her feet out. Think about that, though.
Not only that, she's got them first on the seat in front of her, like on the seat. I don't even know how she managed it, how she contorted herself to do this. Oh, my God. But she puts it on the hand thing, the armrest. Then she sticks them out, sticks her foot out into the aisle. Now she's near me. Now the foot's near me. And I'm looking at her disgusting toe ring and whatever other. I took a picture and sent it to them. Horrible.
I don't want to shame him. Too bad.
He is. He's right, Joe. It is like Oz. It's another world. I don't know what happens. I think the altitude. Is it the altitude? Is it the peanuts? Is it the?
Listen, I don't know.
At this stage of the game, the prices that they are, it's like, you know what? I'm taking my clothes off.
Listen, on that trip coming back from Vegas, okay? Yeah. So, yes, we got our brains bashed in, right? And we were flying Southwest. And in those days, Southwest used to play the games, right? So they're playing a game on the plane. and it was something about pass. If you, I don't know, something about a birthday, and you had to pass change forward. I don't know, some stupid game. I don't even know what it was. So I'm sitting with my wife, and one seat behind us is your brother. And they passed the change. Now he's trying
Change
to sleep.
like quarters, dimes, nickels.
Quarters,
Change.
dimes, nickels. He got his brain beat in for 4 days.
All he had was change.
They give it to him. It's in his pocket. Now, and this is, he takes him instead of passing him to the person in front. Hey, you want some change? He throws the change up the aisle. Yeah, here. And he throws, and he shuts his eyes.
I can't even, you know what? This is a good summer topic, right, Joe? Because everybody's out flying and moving all around the country and everything and enjoying their time and all their stuff. And yeah, Mark, listen, good stuff. This deserved a continuation. This Catone's comments. It absolutely deserved that. We want to hear from you.
How about the day you sat down and you didn't even have a seat? Because and listen, I don't mean to shame anyone, but the guy took up 2 seats. He was so big, didn't belong. He should have bought 2 seats, Chris, because you said you couldn't even sit. You were pinned against the handle of the chair.
You're not shaming anybody. He knows he's huge. I mean, you just buy 2 seats then. Buy 2 friggin' seats. I got to sit like that for 5 hours? Why? Because I eat right. Catone's comments was presented by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. I think I lost all my clients with that one. CorsoLawGroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. And we come back. Would you rather? Coming right up.
It's that time again for a timeout for a message from one of our sponsors. No one ever thinks they will be in the need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people all across this great country who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. So whether it's a traffic ticket or if you need reduced DUI or more serious issues, call or go online to CorsoLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys who I know will help you. Corso Law Group.
Back in with more Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. Hey, our inaugural Would You Rather went off really well because, Joe, I think we were flooded this time, right? We were off a week or so, but we were flooded with these. And
quite a few.
Without further ado, would you rather? So, guys,
gotta give a little.
So the topic today that everybody called in on was: would you rather travel into the future 1 hour as you or anyone else in the world, and why and when? And that was the question, and we got some pretty interesting answers, Joe tells me. But guys, what, Mark?
We got some write-ins, and we got both write-ins and a couple of phone messages actually as well.
Well, listen, let's give our initial take, and let's play the game. Let's see if they can talk us in or out of our initial. So, Mark, what do you?
Okay.
What do you got?
Well, listen, Chris. After what we just talked about. Okay, after Catone's comment, do you think that I want to rather be in the future of some other degenerate, dirty? I don't want to. Listen, I want it myself. So I want to know: am I going to hit the lottery? Am I going to get hit by a train and die? Like I want to know those.
It's only 1 hour, Mark.
But still, you could get hit. But I could leave your house in 5 minutes up the street. You're dead. At least I want to know.
All right. So how about you, Joe?
Myself. I don't want to know 1 hour.
You don't want to be that kid who threw up and then it's like, you know what? I think in an hour from now, I'm going to have a strawberry milk.
Right.
I don't want to be anybody else in the future. I don't want to be anybody.
We got 9 minutes. I want to get to them all. Joe, what's your initial?
I just want to see into my own future an hour just to see if we can be stuck in traffic.
Okay. For me, I want somebody else. I want the first person. Now, depending on when you can play, what's the latest I can get a lottery pick in? Okay. Because then I want to see whoever's got eyeballs on that number first. I want to see that and then go back and play the number.
Well, that's an interesting take, Chris. I didn't think of that. That's a good take.
It's all going to be about money, man. All about money, Joe. Let's hear.
You know what? That you kind of nailed. One of our listeners actually put this one in. She says, "Hi, this is Julie from Seekonk. I think I would rather like to see an hour into someone else's future. I already know what I'm going to do an hour from now, and that's not that exciting. Or perhaps a Powerball clerk selling the winning ticket." See, or would that be a newscaster announcing the winner? I want to be that winner, he says.
Yeah, that would it.
That's it. There you go. Interesting takes, money. Joe. I didn't think of that. That's good.
Traffic.
So basically, this means you become somebody else,
right?
For an hour.
1 hour into their future, or just see whatever they know, whatever they know. I guess. Yeah, that's a good one. That's my take. What else? What else we got, Joe?
This was a good one. I'm going to throw in a phone call. Let's see what we got for this one.
So I was calling in to answer the question. If it was up to me, I would like an hour.
Well, let's stop that Benny Hill.
At a Mexican restaurant, and I just
wait. You got a
greasy burrito, and I want to know if I'm going to have diarrhea here in an hour. So
you got to play that again, Joe.
Oh, you wanted that again?
Yeah, I got to hear that again.
Can't hear it.
I was calling in to answer the question. If it was up to me, I would look an hour into my own future. The reason being is I'm here at a Mexican restaurant, and I just ate a very greasy burrito, and I want to know if I'm going to have diarrhea here in an hour. So to answer that question would be look into my own future an hour from now. Thank you.
From right now. He was calling us while he was eating the burrito, Mark.
All right. Hey, I respect that.
So what's he going to do? Go back an hour and say, I'm not eating this burrito. That's it.
He's not going to eat the burrito.
Well, he's going to wait before he eats it, though. You can't eat it.
He needs to know how much toilet paper he needs to buy on the way home.
Yeah. Does he need to leave the restaurant now? Right? Because you can't do that there.
No.
You got to be in your home base. You got to be at home base.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole nother topic, a whole nother day.
So
you got to be.
We're not getting into that today.
These are pretty good, Joe. What else do we have? We have more.
This was a good one. So, hello guys. This is Sharon from Narragansett, Rhode Island. So it depends.
I love how he does the voice. I love how he makes his voice.
The voice.
He figures Sharon's kind of festive.
How is she writing this? Hi guys, this is Sharon from Narragansett, Rhode Island. So it depends on who I am going to be for 1 hour in the future. If it's someone like the president, then yes, I would want to be him so I can solve potential problems. And then she writes, but truly, I want to be my husband so I can know if he's having an affair. That bastard.
Here you go. Sharon, perfect. That's great. Listen, I didn't think of that, Mark.
Sharon, I like it.
I didn't think of that.
And she calls him a bastard at the end. I like it, Chris.
She called him a bastard at the end. Sharon from Narragansett. She's gonna go drown him in the bay. That's pretty good stuff, Joe.
That is good stuff.
So listen, Sharon's that one's right up there right now. I like Julie's because it's my take, but the other guy's just off the wall, whoever that was.
Oh, the guy in the Mexican restaurant. That's my winner.
Joe, we have any others?
We got a couple more. Let me shoot out to the hotline. Here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? Calling about your would you rather question. So for this one, I definitely rather. I don't really care what I got going on the next hour because it's probably nothing exciting. So definitely want to do somebody else. So being that Jennifer Lopez is on my 5 celebrities that I can sleep with list, I'm gonna say Ben Affleck. Maybe in that next hour, it's gonna be some some of that stuff going on there, and I can see what that's all about. I think that'd be pretty cool. So anyway, that's my answer. So hope you guys have a good one.
Joe, did he knowing if you're Ben Affleck, knowing and in an hour you're going to be, getting
taken over by somebody else.
getting in cozy with Jennifer Lopez.
But here's the thing, though.
Okay.
You. I don't know. I guess they're together. I don't look at any.
I don't
know anything
follow
about
that
show
stuff.
business. What do I know? I haven't looked at anything since what's his name slapped the other guy on stage. So listen, but that assumes that they're going to be in the position, no pun intended, to be doing that in an hour. Like, what if they're not together? What if Ben Affleck's like on a plane with Mark with the little kid with the strawberry milk? What happens then? You picked the wrong hour.
Yeah,
It's true.
No, you're right. You're right.
You got screwed. You had the choice.
You're screwed. Yeah, you're screwed.
So you're gonna have to figure out. You're gonna have to get in touch with Affleck first.
It's gonna have to be
some. There's
gonna have to be some investigating and planning in that.
You got to get You got to get his itinerary. Is what you have to get, and supposedly puts that on the itinerary. Don't they do that, Joe? All the stars put that on there.
Somebody's got to do it.
All right, what's next?
Here we go.
Hi, it's Olivia. I heard you wanted me to go into someone else's future or my future. And I picked my future so that when I lose my tooth, I can see how much money I get from the tooth fairy. And
Olivia. I love Olivia.
Okay,
I do too.
guys. Bye.
Our biggest fan.
That's there's our mascot. Olivia's the most loyal fan that we have, right? Little Olivia.
She is.
She sounds like she's growing up right there. But yes, she wants to go forward. That's the best one. She wants to go forward to see how much she gets from the tooth fairy, right? So that she could go back in time, and say, I need more.
You know what? Olivia's the winner, because you know what, Olivia? I want to do the same thing. I want to know what the tooth fairy's giving me.
So Joe, I mean, is that all of them?
I have one more. We have a last one.
All right, go quick, because then we got to give
real
up.
Quick. We're running late. Go
Hi,
ahead.
you guys. I'm Michelle from Cranston, and I'm calling in for the Would You Rather question today. And so the question is, would I rather go into someone else's future for an hour or my own? So I would choose to go into my daughter's future on Christmas morning, just so that I can feel what her reaction and excitement is on that day. So anyway, thank you guys. I love the show. Bye.
Wow.
That's nice.
I like that. Sweet. That's nice. That's a nice mother.
I mixed that up. Here's the weird thing. I was going to play Olivia last because she's our biggest fan. And I mixed it up, but that one kind of gave me chills. I was like thinking, wow, yeah, that would be a cool thing to feel, like the kids feeling on Christmas Day. An hour in. Wow.
Nice. That's too nice of a call for this show.
Right?
That's too nice of a thought for people like us.
We got to end on a good note,
No,
yeah,
we do. But you know what, Chris? I say the last two were the winners.
Yeah.
Olivia and that last caller. Yeah.
The Lopez one?
Not Lopez, that dirty degenerate wants to sleep with Lopez.
What was the other one? What did I miss?
The one the one we just had, the mother who wants to
that. Yeah.
And Olivia, of course.
Well, I still did it change your mind? You still want to be you, Mom?
Yes, it did change my mind, because now I choose yours. I want to go.
Yeah. You know what?
Powerball winner.
Changed my mind.
There it, or you go forward and see the winning. What the race came in on, you go.
Well, either way, anything.
The problem
like that,
is,
yes.
you have to box it up together, put something together. We'll get that's our Sundays. That's our spread, our weekly spread. We're going to be.
That's
doing
a whole
episode,
too. Chris. That's a whole episode. You want to get into that?
So hey, excellent job out there. I can't remember all the names, but thank you all for writing in, calling in. They were fantastic, especially little Olivia. We certainly appreciate that. So hey, listen, just really quick, let me give you the topics. There's two potential topics for next week, and when we come back, and I want to know which one. Okay, guys, I think we agree on this, right? So, would you rather have a personal maid or a personal chef? And I guess maid means like somebody cleans and all that stuff, right? So a personal maid or a personal chef, or would you rather team up with Superman or Wonder Woman?
To save the world? Yeah.
Whatever. Don't add to it. That's it.
All right.
Would you rather team up with Superman or Wonder Woman? So either
Can
one
I
of those.
team up with Can I team up with Catwoman?
You know what? Don't start right now. We're going to get to, because I can't even imagine, you said those nice 2 calls at the end, and now you're going to destroy them. I told you they were too good for this show, Joe. These nice people. So let's see, write in, call us on the Heated Hotline. Want to hear from you when we come back. And so Corso and Catone was presented by Special Sauce Podcast. What's your special sauce? SpecialSaucePodcast.com. Hey, listen, all of our shows are up for you to watch, listen, get on there, subscribe, give us that thumbs up, follow us, and come back. Hey, we're going to be off next week, but we're going to be back following on the 29th, Joe, right?
On the 29th. Yeah.
29th. Hey, Patriots training camp's going to be open. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to have your calls, your emails, more about the Celtics, more Yankees versus Red Sox, and your would you rather calls. Anything you bring to the table, we will be ready for it. We are Corso and Catone, the real deal, New England feel. See you in a couple of weeks.
Right, Corso and Catone on iHeartRadio, iTunes, or wherever you podcast. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, Corso and Catone, and catch the chaos at 7 p.m. on Saturday.